from the News Channel 5 Network. This is Que Pasa Nashville.
Bienvenidos and welcome to Que Pasa Nashville. My name is Cristina Allen and thank you for joining us. Today I have Metro Council Representative Erica Gilmer, who's with District 17, as well as our good dear friend Fabian Bednay, Metro Council District 31. Thank you both for being here today. It's exciting because several years ago, the Black Caucus switched to the Minority Caucus, which you are president and you are vice president of the Minority Caucus. Erica, can you start how that came about? I know it's been a couple of years, but just share with the viewers why that's important.
Sure. Originally, there was a Black Caucus for many years on the council, and that came out of just kind of advocating for issues that related to the Black community that may not be in the mainstream. But when we had our elected official next to me here, Fabian Bednay, who won, was the first Latino to win for the city of Nashville, we said, how can we combine these caucuses? Because we're going to have some of the same issues and agendas, so how can we push that forward and consolidate our votes and consolidate our power and our agendas? So we changed it to the Minority Caucus because we thought as we continue to grow, there's going to be much more diversity in the city. And so how do we let everyone know that if they would like to join, that they're welcome to be a part of that?
And that's a huge step. As a city who, not until the 2000 census, when Bredesen, who was then mayor, acknowledged the 2000 census that we have a new minority, which is the Hispanics. And since then, right now, the 2010 census show that we are 10% of Davidson County are Hispanics. And Nashville Mayor Carl Dean has the Nashville Next. What we're projected to be in 25 years shows that we're going to be 34%. Fabian, how was this a welcoming feeling?
Well, it was very humbling to me, and I was really taken by the request. When they came to me, I was like, well, thank you very much. And the fact that they wanted to change the name and to be more inclusive so I could be part of that, it was really, it was great to me. And then it just didn't become the Black and Latino, because then we went on to become a space where different minorities can come and talk to us about issues, like when we help the cab drivers that they were looking for more licenses. And so we have women that come to us with issues of perceived discrimination. So minority, I mean, it became a real Minority Caucus.
And so, and you mentioned it earlier, you know, it was Black issues, but now it's minority issues. As a group, what are your objectives and what have you been working on that reflect Davidson County?
I think as Fabian has stated, the issue of the taxi cab drivers and the licenses was a big issue in terms of issuing permits, because a lot of those persons that tend to be in that field are minorities, and they come from parts of Africa or the Middle East, or they could be Latino. And so that was really a big first step, and we were able to get some of those permits for them. So that was really a big deal.
Now, were you reaching out and meeting with them as a whole to let them understand, one, how government works, or, you know, just some basic elements that they're probably not used to that structure?
And so they would come before us. We usually have meetings. We have meetings on the second Monday of each month, and we have an agenda, and anyone who wants to come and be a part of that agenda, they can. They just tell us ahead of time, and we take it up. And so we've had many different, as he shared, we've had women to come express issues of discrimination, whether it has to do with transportation, sometimes it has to do with procurement in certain areas of government. We're just open to any issue that is a minority issue. We're open to elevating that and giving it a
So is your role to go back to the council as a committee and share that they might not have access to these words and these people, or to help be a voice for them? Is that what the objective is?
Well, basically what happens, we are a big block in the council. We're about 25% of the council members in that group. So if we decide that an issue is important to us, it's not that we make it mandatory for the members of the caucus to vote in a particular way, but if we all sign on a letter or in a document endorsing a particular idea,
influence,
then, yeah, that has some weight. And so when we go to a commission or a department in the city and we tell them we all feel very strongly about this, it gets their attention.
Do you have non-Black, non-Hispanic members in your caucus?
We don't.
Is it open to that?
It is. It is. They're more than welcome to join.
As the demographic, I always use this word, the demographic shift in Middle Tennessee, and I know we're focusing on Davidson County, those the African American community is now all over. There's a strong presence in the southeast, obviously in the north, but there's growth everywhere. And I've seen statistics where they used to be strong in the north, and now you see it in the Smyrna, even outside Davidson County, that growth. But that's also where the growth of our immigrants are in the southeast. So do the representatives in those areas get involved in understanding their change of their council representatives? I know you do, but we have a lot of non-black, non-white representing a large group of different minorities. Are they open to not only meeting with you, but hearing them as well?
Oh, well, sometimes we have non-caucus members that come to our caucus meetings when they think that something we might be discussing is important to them. So yeah, I think they're aware of the work we're doing. I don't think there is. I think people see our work as an important work, and I get requests sometimes from other council members to help them reach out to the local Latino community. I'm very happy to do that. I've been known to visit North Nashville or other parts of the city, because for me an important issue here for the success of Nashville, it's integration. So as we work, as we try to get all the people that are new to Nashville to integrate into the fabric of the city, it's good for everybody, and I think everybody agrees with that. And we have to do it in a way that is successful, where the new people get to hold on to their traditions and their values, but at the same time embrace what makes Nashville great.
So let's go to the issue that you guys took as a minority caucus, meaning expanding the minority contract. Did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to say also, like during this budget cycle, I think Fabian has been very instrumental in saying that there has to be more diversity in our departments. And so we just released a compensation study, which was very important. And I know that he is supposed to be meeting with Veronica Frazier, who is the director of the Metro Human Resource.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very important. I mean, so we look at those issues, we bring those forward, we say how important that is to have it reflective. As you talk about being 10% of Hispanics being 10% of the national community, is going to grow to 30%. That we have to continue to diversify, and that's what that compensation study, a part of it was. But the other part is, how do we not only incorporate, we were looking at younger demographics, bringing them into government, but how do we incorporate people that are from different ethnic backgrounds? And
that is perfect, because if you have your assets of diversity, you have assets of opinions, assets of solutions, assets of funding and stuff like that. And I think people need to be exposed with that global mindset. So let's go back on that. If the city is growing demographically, you're right, internally they have to change as well. So, and most people have been in these positions a long time, they have to understand that change. So thank you very much for representing all in that area. Sure. As I mentioned earlier, expanding the minority contracting by national, some people, I think fear that diversity supplier word, they're just getting it because they're minorities. But from my understanding, and please either support, is that they still have to be qualified to be a contractor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not going to give it to them just because of their minority status.
And it's really not just about minorities, it's about small business as well. And
women-owned businesses as well.
Women-owned business, neighborhood business. I mean, the idea is to encourage and to support local Nashville small business to be able to get a fair shake at being contracted for some of these projects, because when you are a startup business, when you're small, it's very hard to compete with a long time established. Now, this is not a quota. It's not that we're forcing anybody to do anything. We're just encouraging them, nudging them along, so we get to diversify how we invest our dollars to reach out to more people.
And I know that, like, the Metro Airport Authority does a great job of doing their small minority women-owned business outreach to get they have a goal to get a certain percentage from all different levels of anything they contract out. Mm-hmm. So we're not just seen as stores in the airport, but we're talking CPAs, the building of the runways. I mean, it's a huge world out there. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a lot of the Metro Airport because they have a percentage to build on. Mm-hmm. Does the Metro government do that, or is that something that, not the word force, but more cognizant of
we usually have a goal of, I think it's 20 to 30% when we do projects that we lead with initiatives, like whether it's the Sulphur Dale or the Music City Center, those type of things.
Is that a good percentage compared to other cities?
I think it is. I think it's 20%. It should be higher. We always want higher, but a lot of people share inexperience. It's hard to find most of the time people that can build that capacity when we talk about minorities. So we try to remove some of those barriers as well. Or
collaboration as well.
Yes, collaboration. And people get points for collaborating with maybe ones that are newer to the process and are just stepping out. So it is a point system.
Another area that I know that you've worked on is the civil rights movement and the can you tell me a little bit more about that and what you're doing there?
Okay, sure. Now with that one, we've been working for a couple of years on having some type of monument, and at one particular time there was only a certain amount of money. We've been working on it so long, I'm embarrassed to say I can't even remember what the amount was, but that was increased. And then most recently there were some members that had come from the veterans community and they had participated in the civil rights movement, and they were concerned because they were not able to participate in the manner that they wanted to in the process. So we did advocate, and we were able to strike a happy medium with the Arts Commission on that. And in the end, they were a lot more happy.
And doing a monument representing the civil rights.
Right. So it's not going to really be, I think there was a little issue about that too. So it's not going to be a monument,
but reflection.
Yes, it'll be a piece of art. And so, you know, with the Art Commission, that's kind of been an ongoing thing. It's when an artist does something, they get to reflect it in the way that they want to. So it won't be a monument per se, but it will be something that recognizes the movement that happened in Nashville, which is very
Nashville was very instrumental in the civil rights movement.
I recently had visitors from San Diego, and I'm telling them the history, and they had no idea. You know, they think of us as country music, which is great. They think, I mean, and you start throwing in our diversity in companies like, you know, healthcare and other stuff. But when I say the civil rights movement started here, and I've heard, you know, the freedom riders speak.
Yes.
There, and I make them go to the museum to see the NBC white papers. I think most people have no idea. So having that reflection of a piece, when we have these tourists come, they take back that we have more than that. So
definitely, it's very important.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with Metro Representative Erica Gilmore and Fabian Benet, and talk about the State of the Union on where it's going. Google, that's a big opportunity. So we'll be right back, and join us then.